All right, let's get into what might be the single most powerful, and get this, completely free biohack in the world: morning sunlight. We're going to dive into the incredible work of neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman and really unpack how this ridiculously simple 10-minute habit can, no joke, rewire your brain for peak performance. Okay, let's do this.
Just let that sink in for a second. We spend all this time and money on pills, powders, and complicated routines. But what if the master key to unlocking our true potential was just waiting for us right outside our door every single morning? This isn't some nice, fluffy idea. This is hardwired biology.
Okay, so this wave of photons thing, let's break down what that actually means and how it works. You know, it all really starts with the very first choice you make when you open your eyes.
And this, right here, says it all. On one hand, you've got this habit that just blasts your brain with chaotic, artificial blue light and stressful information. But on the other hand, you have a habit that sends a clear, powerful, biological signal to your brain. This one choice, this tiny little decision, is often the difference between a day of brain fog and a day of absolute crystal clear focus.
And listen, that is not an exaggeration. We are talking about a scientifically backed method to set your body's internal clock perfectly. This has these massive downstream effects on your energy all day long, and, maybe even more importantly, your ability to get deep, restorative sleep at night. It's like the first and most important domino. So how in the world does this actually work? Let's get into the science of it, because once you understand the why, the habit just sticks. And it all comes down to two really important hormones: cortisol and melatonin.
This right here is the key concept you have to get. Your eyes are literally a direct extension of your brain. They have these specialized cells that have nothing to do with vision. They're not for seeing shapes or colors. They are designed for one job: to detect the quality of the light in your environment and report that information straight back to the master clock in your brain.
Yeah, we always hear about cortisol as the stress hormone, right? But a healthy, perfectly timed pulse of it first thing in the morning is exactly what you want. It's the starting gun for your day. It basically screams to your body, okay, the day has officially started, time to be alert, time to be focused, let's go. And here's the really beautiful part of this whole system. That morning cortisol shot doesn't just wake you up, it starts a countdown timer. And about 16 hours later, like clockwork, your brain knows, okay, it's time to start releasing melatonin, which is that hormone that makes you feel relaxed, sleepy, and ready for bed.
So there it is, the whole sequence, plain and simple. Morning sunlight hits your eyes. That triggers the healthy cortisol spike. And that spike starts the 16-hour timer for melatonin. It's this perfect, precise biological clock, and it's set by the sun. But, and this is a huge but, if you miss that first critical signal, the whole system just gets thrown into chaos. Your brain is left guessing, and that leads to that awful, groggy feeling during the day, and then at night you feel tired but wired. You're literally fighting your own biology.
But setting your clock, that's only half the story. Morning sunlight also performs this vital cleanup for your brain, which brings us to a chemical called adenosine.
You know that feeling of sleep inertia? That grogginess you have to shake off when you first wake up? Well, that's adenosine. It's a natural chemical that builds up in your brain, and there's always a little bit left over from the night before when you wake up.
Now, most of us reach for coffee to solve this problem. But here's the crucial difference. Coffee doesn't actually get rid of the adenosine. It just blocks the receptors for it. It's like putting a piece of tape over your brain's tired signal. Sunlight, on the other hand, triggers a process in your body that helps to actively clear it out. It solves the root problem. I mean, how great is this analogy? It just perfectly captures what's happening. You're not just getting some steps in, you are actively pressure washing your brain, clearing out all that gunk from the night before, and setting the stage for a super clean, super focused day.
Okay, so the why is crystal clear. Now let's talk about the how. The protocol itself is incredibly simple, but you gotta know these rules are non-negotiable if you really want to get the full effect.
Look, I have to say this as bluntly as possible, because this is the #1 mistake people make. Trying to get your morning light through a window in your house or through your car's windshield is like trying to get a suntan in a dark room. It just does not work. So here's the deal. 3 simple rules. First, timing is everything. Get out there within about 30 minutes of waking. Second, like we just said, you have to be physically outside. No glass. It filters out almost all the good stuff your brain needs. And third, it's that unique low-angle light of the morning sun that has the perfect mix of light your brain is looking for. And no, you don't have to stare at the sun. Just face in its general direction, take off your sunglasses, and just let your eyes do the work.
All right, so we've covered the science, we've covered the protocol, now it's about putting it into practice. And I want you to think of this not as another chore you have to do, but as your first and most important mission of the day.
You know, our modern indoor lives have made us forget this fundamental truth. Our bodies, our brains, they evolved from millions of years to be in sync with the sun. Reconnecting to that is one of the most powerful things you can do for your health and your performance. It's time to stop ignoring it.
So here's my challenge to you. Tomorrow, just try it for one day. Before you check your email, before you scroll social media, before you even think about coffee, just step outside for 10 minutes. That's it. Let your biology handle the rest.
Because ultimately, that's what this is all about. You have these incredibly powerful systems already built into you. The only question is, are you going to learn the rules and take control, or are you going to let your modern environment control you? The choice really begins tomorrow morning.